Hello everyone, and welcome to the Missouri School Boards Association's Board Report for the month of August. We thank you for the opportunity to share some news and information during a few minutes of your board meeting. We begin with a look at the waiver from the No Child Left Behind law the federal government recently approved for Missouri. Adequate yearly progress is out, and annual measurable objectives are in as part of the waiver. The state's annual measurable objectives reflect a goal of increasing student proficiency rates by 25% by 2020 and cutting the proficiency gap in half for historically disadvantaged students. Under the waiver, there will be no more schools identified as in need of improvement. Instead, there will be a new system that will identify what are called priority, focus, and reward schools.
Doing away with school identification as a failing school means that we're also doing away with those sanctions that were applied to that identification. So, for example, school districts were required to set aside 20% of their Title I funding to support specific interventions. And the U.S. Department of Education has come forward and said this is a local decision now. Local districts know best what interventions are needed. So supplemental educational services, for example, may be one area a district would like to choose, but they would no longer be required to do so. They would not be required to offer public school choice within districts unless they felt that was something they would like to do. Professional development is left to the discretion of the local district. That is something that is obviously something most districts would find very important and would want to do, but they're letting the districts decide what is best for the school improvement efforts in their school.
Van Dieven tells MSBA there will be 57 school buildings in the state identified as priority schools, 115 schools identified as focus schools, and 102 schools that are top performers identified as reward schools. She tells us the waiver will allow the state to get out from under the unrealistic requirement that all students perform at the proficient level by 2014.
This is absolutely not a retreat from accountability. This is absolutely not setting high expectations. We are absolutely setting high expectations. They needed to be very ambitious goals, but also attainable. So what we did was we looked at where we are now. We've projected out to where we need to be in 2020. And we have set annual measurable objectives based upon what it will take for the proficiency rate that would be required for our state to show up in the top 10 of states across the nation.
Van Dieven says the waiver also will enable the state to have a single accountability system, replacing the often confusing system under No Child Left Behind. While the waiver has many positive aspects for school districts, MSBA continues to have concerns about some aspects of its implementation. To learn more about the implications of the waiver, you can visit the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education's website at the address on your screen. As most students throughout the state start a new school year this month, student safety, especially on school buses, is a major priority. That was the topic of one of the sessions at the recent Missouri Safe Schools and Colleges Conference. Gary Moore is Safety Coordinator for the Missouri Center for Education Safety, and he discussed a program designed to increase student safety on buses called the Peaceful School Bus. He says the program emphasizes educating students on safe ways to ride the bus.
They named the bus, they had the teachers involved, the parents involved, the school administrators, principals involved, bring the bus drivers in, because right now the bus drivers is pretty much a no man's land. In the mornings the parents say, well, he's yours. And at nighttime, the teachers are wore out. They say, well, he's yours. So he's not really connected to the school as the kids see it. So with his, he makes everybody brought in together. They are one team. They talk about things together. The bus driver is recognized as part of the school. And the kids see he's getting the support from the principals, administrators, superintendents, and teachers.
The Safe Schools and Colleges Conference was sponsored by the Center for Education Safety, which is a partnership of MSBA and the Missouri Department of Public Safety. Speaking of school bus safety, the Missouri Association of Pupil Transportation has released a new video focusing on the issue of distracted driving. It tells the story of a tragic event in Callaway County in which a kindergartner was hit and killed by a school bus. For more information on the video, you can contact the Missouri Association of Pupil Transportation. MSBA produced the video for the Pupil Transportation Group. Well, if you haven't already done so, you can now register for the 2012 MSBA Annual Conference to be held at the Lake of the Ozarks, September 27th through 30th. Once again, we'll have some outstanding keynote speakers scheduled and more than 80 concurrent sessions covering a wide range of topics and issues of interest to school board members and administrators. The MSBA Annual Conference is the largest gathering of education leaders in the state each year. Visit the MSBA website to complete your registration online. That's it for this month's edition of the MSBA Board Report. Thanks for allowing us to have some time at your board meeting, and so long from Columbia.